A very good evening, everyone, and welcome to the world's top military air show, the Royal International Air Tattoo, here in PTFS. So, coming up on our flying display first, we have a very nice display coming out from the MiG-15. So this aircraft is flying from 1800 to 1805. So when the MiG-15 is ready, we shall let it begin its display. English car spotter guy, good evening. Okay. Don't know what we're going to do then. So it looks we aren't getting any sound through on the YouTube. Oh, we are. That's perfect. So doesn't look as to be the MiG-15 is here. So we'll move on to the next demo, and that will be the Typhoon. No, sorry, not the Typhoon. The Chinook roll demo. Due to the fact that the MiG isn't here. So to quickly take you through the program that we have flying for you this evening. So we were meant to start off with the MiG-15, but we'll move on to the Chinook now. We then have the F-15, the Su-57, which is the second appearance here at RIAT. We then have the Typhoon demo, a C-17 demo, a KC-707 demo, an F-16, an A-10, an F-35, and an English Electric Lightning. Before we go on to a 5-minute break, then we'll have the Thunderbirds flying at 1900 to 1940, and then we'll have the E-3 Sentry flying at 1940 to 1945, and then to finish off the RIATs, their first appearance ever in a flying display, the Diamondback display team. And after them, you can experience a fly past from the Thunderbirds and the Diamondback display team in formation. So that will be a sight to see for sure. Can I turn up my mic? I can try. So currently the Chinook is on the ground with the engine started and is waiting to go up for its display. So there we go, the Chinook is rolling out and is ready to start its demo. So, as you can see flying here, the Boeing CH-47 Chinook is a heavy lift tandem rotor helicopter introduced in 1962. It reaches speeds near 200 miles an hour, carries up to 55 troops or 10 tons of cargo, and operates at high altitudes of up to 20,000 feet. There is no tail rotor to the Chinook. It is the twin counter-rotating tandem rotors that cancel out the torque, meaning all engine power goes directly into lift and thrust. It ranks as one of the fastest military helicopters in service, with a top speed near 196 miles an hour or 170 knots. Can perform in a thin mountain air up to 20,000 feet, which made it vital for operations in Afghanistan. The Chinook can seat up to 33 to 55 troops, depending on the cabin setup, and can lift a payload of about 24,000 to 25,000 pounds internally or externally via a triple hook system. The Chinook features a wide rear loading ramp and internal winch for easy loading of vehicles and bulky gear. As you just saw then, the Chinook is very manoeuvrable in flying in reverse. It can also do the same on ground on the two rear wheels at the rear of the aircraft. Very odd wheel design that we see set up on the Chinook. It's got 4 wheels up front and 2 wheels at the back. Chinook was first flown in 1961 and named after the Native American Chinook people. Used extensively from the Vietnam War through modern conflict by the US Army, Royal Air Force and over 20 nations operators. As you can see, a waiver in the back there. Commercial versions of the Chinook assist with firefighting, loading and heavy construction. So the Chinook is used for a very wide range of stuff throughout the world, making it a vital helicopter and a huge asset to where it helps. So the rear ramp is now open on the Chinook. The aircraft is brought slightly forward. And there we go, we have parachuters jumping out of the rear of the aircraft there with a flare dump. A part of ground attack defense mechanisms. So as we come to the final part of the display for the Chinook, we'll then be moving on to the next aircraft we have on our display list today, and that will be the F-15. Now, for the theme of the RIAT, as some may know, we've recently been doing a theme for the past couple of months, and the theme for this RIAT is fighter meet. So most of the aircraft that you'll see throughout the RIAT this weekend will be fighter jets or aircraft that are used in fighting roles within the world. And we are also celebrating the 2-year anniversary of the PTFS Royal International Air Tattoo. Yes, it's crazy to think we have been going for over 2 years. A huge milestone for us, and we have come very far with what we do. And we still look forward to giving you plenty of air shows in the future and making the community bigger and getting you better and better displays as we go on. So there we go. The Chinook will now taxi off. Well, it can't really taxi, it hovers. And we move on to the next demo, which is on the roll, and it is the F-15. So the F-15 is on the runway now and is ready to roll. So when the F-15 is ready, he will be ready to start. Oh, and off we go. The F-15 is ready to start its display. So what you're seeing perform now is the McDonnell Douglas, now Boeing. The F-15 Eagle is a twin-engine, all-weather tactical fighter jet with an unmatched combat record of over 100 air-to-air victories and 0 losses in air combat. Developed for the US Air Force, it first flew in July 1972 and entered service in 1976. The aircraft is capable of reaching speeds of over Mach 2.5, roughly 1,875 miles per hour, or 3,000 kilometers an hour. Has a thrust-to-weight ratio, a high thrust-to-weight ratio actually. Design allows the aircraft to accelerate vertically after takeoff, as we saw miraculously there on the takeoff of the jet at the start of its demo. Has a maximum ceiling of up to 65,000 feet, a length of 63.8 feet, and a wingspan of 42.8 feet. So, one historical fact about the F-15 is the only aircraft to shoot anything out of space. A mission required an F-15 to fly up to, towards near orbit and to shoot, I believe it was a satellite out of the sky. One of the first aircraft to ever do it, and probably the only time it'll ever be done. As you know, we are still trying to reach high hypersonic speeds of up to Mach 10, especially after what we saw in the Top Gun Maverick movie. The closest we've got at the moment is around Mach 7. So the F-15 is used in many different countries. It's operated by the US mostly. It's also used with Israel, Saudi Arabia, Japan and South Korea. Now, there has been recent upgrade models to the F-15. The United States have the new F-15EX, which features a 16-inch screen, which replaces all the dials inside the aircraft. So you pretty much have a small TV screen inside your fighter jet while flying. Very odd. It's also the same with the F-35, but I believe the F-35 screen is much bigger compared to the F-15s, and that's the recent model of the EX. And the Qatar Air Force recently got their new model of the F-15, which is the QA Ababil. And as we come to the end of the F-15 display, it has a minute left, so during that minute it will do its final flyby and land. And we move on to the next aircraft in our display list, which will be the Su-57. So there we go, the F-15 just landing in off to the left of us here. Hopefully we'll get the Su-57 up soon. There it is, it's getting ready and it's on the taxi. So the second time an Su-57 has been featured in a RIAT flying display. The first time it was featured, it was for a special fly pass. That was as Top Gun Maverick was brought out, and we done a special tribute to that. So that was a decent air show. We ended up getting the F-14, the Su-57, and the F-18 flying together. Now, if the F-5 was available, we would have got the F-5 into fly to represent, as they called it back in the first Top Gun, the MiG. But here we go, the Su-57 is on the runway, it's ready to start its demo. And away it goes. So, the Sukhoi Su-57, NATO reporting name, also known as the Felon, is a Russian's first operational fifth-generation fighter stealth twin-engine multi-role fighter aircraft. Developed by Sukhoi from the PACFAR program, it's made its maiden flight on January 29th, 2010, and entered service with the Russian Aerospace Forces in December 2020. With a top speed of Mach 2, with supercruise capabilities around Mach 1.3 without using afterburner. Powered by two AL-41 F1 turbofan engines featuring 3D thrust vectoring for extreme agility and post-stall maneuvers with cleaner sheet idleize 30 engines planned. Designed with a reduced radar cross-section, an RCS, using composite materials and internal weapon bays, through some analysts debate its low observable optimized compared to Western counterparts like the F-35. Now, there isn't much we can tell you about the Su-57 due to the fact it is being kept so top secret via the Russians, and you'd probably know why. But it's nice to see a flying Su-57 in the RIAT flying display. Now, the livery is very nice as well. It blends in with the clouds and also the snow, because Russia is known for being very snowy in the winter. The blue also blends in very nicely with the sky. Now, we come to the end of the Su-57 demo, and we move on to the Typhoon. So Typhoon is taxiing to the runway now, ready to start its display. So we can expect to see two Typhoon displays this weekend. One via the Typhoon here, and another one via the RAF Typhoon display team, which are following on as a blackjack routine mixed with the last 3 years, which would be Moggy, Reheat 01 and Dragon 01 from this year. Now, there is, I believe, music to this display, so bear with me a minute to see if we can get that sorted. and then the display will carry on. So it will go quiet on the YouTube stream due to the pure fact that we can't play the music due to copyright issues, but we'll try our best to try commentate over it as best as we can after the display is coming to an end. So you see the landing gear has been deployed on the Typhoon and the aircraft is ready for landing, and we move on to the next item on our display program, which is the biggest aircraft that we've had flying for the start of the show. It's the C-17. Now, usually this C-17 we have on a static display due to never really features in a flying display, but this is going to be its first appearance in a flying display ever. And it seems our pilot is stuck in a queue, so if one person could leave, please, so we can get the pilot in for that demo so it can continue and go ahead. And then we can continue with the show rolling as soon as possible. So a very great display that we saw there from the Typhoon. Very energetic, very fast-paced, very professional flight demonstration there. We saw the maneuverability of the Typhoon, and it is very maneuverable. We'll probably see more also when the Typhoon goes up tomorrow, which is on our display program, and that should be an energetic one, just like the one that we just saw. It's always nice to see a fellow British display flight from in the RIAT, so definitely something indeed. So just currently waiting on the C-17 pilot. He is trying to join the game, but the server seems to be full at the moment. Oh yeah, the pilot is in the server. And there we go, the C-17 is spawned in. So hopefully we'll see a short runway takeoff demonstration via the C-17. Yep, it looks like he is going for the short runway takeoff display. So this will be interesting to see. So as I was mentioning earlier, this is the first time that a Qatari C-17 has featured in the RIAT flying display. And here it is going for its short runway takeoff. And the biggest aircraft we have flying at the moment so far in the RIAT. So what you're seeing now is the Boeing C-17 Globemaster III. Is a large military a large military transport aircraft measuring at 174 feet long with a 169-foot 10-inch wingspan. It handles a maximum payload of 170,000 pounds or 77.5 tons, cruising at high altitudes to deliver troops and oversized cargo directly to small Astur airfields worldwide. Powered by 4 Pratt & Whitney F117 PW100 turbofans, which you can see mounted under the wing there. It's operated by a lean crew of three, a pilot, a co-pilot, and a loadmaster. The C-17 can land on runways under 3,000 to 3,500 feet, utilizing its high lift wing and thrust reversers. So the aircraft is nicknamed the Moose. It highlights operational flexibility and safety milestones over its 30-year history. It is in use by many Air Force, the Royal Australian Air Force, the Qatari Air Force, the Royal Air Force, and United States Air Force. A very maneuverable aircraft indeed, and very good at showing it. So it will come to the end of its demo, sadly. Didn't have much time, but it definitely put on a great performance for the crowd there. And we'll move on to the next one, the KC-707, which is a tanker. Now, the first tanker of the weekend. We can expect 3 more to fly throughout the rest of the weekend as well. So there it is, the pilot is getting ready, and the pilot can start taxiing to runway. So the oldest tanker we have in a flying display yet for the RIAT. So if that wants to start taxiing now, so we can get it up for its full flying display. And you can see just in the background there, the C-17 doing a full tactical landing. Please stop firing flares, or else you will be kicked from the server. So C-17 is in. KC-707 will start taxiing, and we can crack on with the demo. Please stop firing flares, whoever that is. Please don't ruin the air show for everyone else. So the KC-707 is taxiing. KC-707, you might want to speed this up if you want to get through your whole demo. You've got 3 minutes left. That's why we ask everyone to get their aircraft ready and taxied to the end of the runway ready during the display that's going on before them, so we can continue with the display and you get the full 5 minute of your time slot. So the KC-707 is a military aerial refuel tanker conversion of the legendary Boeing 707 commercial jet airliner. It has served key Air Force and private contractors, extending the range of tactical and combat aircraft across long-distance missions. So adapted from used or commercial Boeing 707 airframes rather than built from scratch as dedicated military craft. It's pretty much just leftover commercial aircraft when you think of it. Modified to pump fuel via flying booms or hose and drogue systems while retaining capabilities to haul cargo, personnel or extra fuel tanks. So this one looks to be a privately owned one from the Omega Squadron, as we can see on the side. Operated by private defense providers like Omega Air Force Refueling, which we can see here, to support US Navy, Marine Corps and allied assets. Operated extensively by the 120 Squadron Israel of the Israel Air Force. On YouTube, what's next? The next aircraft to fly in the flying display. We can expect just a fly pass from the 707 before we get the next aircraft up, because it comes to the end of its display time now. We have the F-16 flying. That will be next up on the flying display. So if the F-16 wants to get itself ready, and get ready on the runway. So there we go, the one fly past via the KC-707. And we'll get the F-16 up now. If not, we'll see about doing a small 5-minute break just to give a little break to everything. And I do believe I hear the engines of the F-16. There it is. So this won't be the first time you'll see this today. You'll also see the F-16 in another livery, and that will be the Thunderbirds livery. So if the F-16 would like to speed up taxi so we can get it in. In the break, can you fly the Hurricane? The break is there just so we can split up everything from the flying display. So we have nothing flying during the breaks. So usually during the 5-minute break that we have planned, we'll talk about what is up to come and what we think our favourite display was at the current point throughout the air show. And then we'll crack on then. And then there's only 3 displays left after our break, so the air show shouldn't go on for too much longer. Just gonna do something very quickly. And off goes the F-16 for its display. So, as I was saying, this won't be the last time you see the F-16 today. So rolling in from the left now, the F-16 fights in Falcon, a single-engine supersonic 4th generation multi-role fighter jet capable of speeds over Mach 2 and 9G turns. Over 4,600 aircraft have been built since 1976, and it remains one of the world's most widely used combat aircraft. It was the first fighter internationally designed to be aerodynamically unstable, using a computerized digital fly-by-wire system for extreme agility. Featuring a 30-degree recline seat to help pilots handle high G-forces and a frameless bubble canopy providing 360-degree ability to see around the cockpit. The F-16 reaches speeds of up to 1,500 miles an hour or Mach 2 altitude and can fly at altitudes above 50,000 feet, equipped with an internal M61 Vulcan 20mm cannon and multiple hardpoints capable of carrying up to 6 air-to-air missiles, precision-guided munitions and fuel tanks. So we go, we'll get the F-16 in for its last pass, and then we'll get the A-10 up. We do apologise for such a short display with the F-16. We had a few problems with the KC-707. So we'll get the A-10 up as soon as we can. So if the A-10's ready, we'll get you up now. So there we go. If the A10 will taxi just straight onto the runway, so if you continue taxiing straight forward and go straight for your demo. And while the A10 is doing its demo, can we get the F-35 ready for its demo? So we can see the F-16 just landing in here. So the A10 is taxiing, it's going out for its display straight away, so please do not stop on the runway. Just go straight for takeoff and go for your demo. As you can see, rolling now, the A10 Thunderbolt II, famously nicknamed the Warthog, is a legendary US Air Force ground attack aircraft built explicitly for close air support and tank killing. It features heavy titanium armour, a massive 30mm Gatling gun, and extreme durability. The entire aircraft was designed to house the nose-mounted 30mm GAU-8A Avenger Gatling gun, which fires up to 3,900 to 4,200 depleted uranium and high explosive rounds per minute. Firing the cannon produces a famous, iconic, as many know, Burt sound, ripping sound. So that's a nice sound that everyone likes to hear. The gun and its ammunition drum make up roughly 16% of the plane's empty weight. The A10 requires a tail stand, so they do not tip backwards on the ground. The pilot sits inside a protective armor shell made for titanium plates, are up to 1.5 inches thick and can deflect armor piercing rounds. Flight control uses manual cable backups if the hydraulic system fails completely, and is powered by a dual turbofan. Engines are mounted high on the rear fuselage to shield them from ground heat signatures and enemy fire. So the A10 can come in for a final pass, and we should hopefully have the F-35 ready for its demo. So if the F-45 wants to taxi to the end of the runway now, well, the A10 comes in for its final pass. So we have just got the Twitch live stream sorted, so we'll get that through to everyone now, because from when the Thunderbirds come on, the stream will cut over to the pilots flying, and the cameraman is also flying with the Thunderbirds. So you'll get an onboard footage from the YouTube stream, but you can also get an outside footage on the Twitch that will be posted up in our announcements. So F-35 is taxiing now. If they want to taxi just straight forward onto the runway instead of going all the way to the end, so we can get them up for their demo as soon as we can. The A-10 comes into land there. And while the F-35 gets up for its display, would the next pilot, the pilots of the English Electric Lightning, get sorted at the end of the runway so we can keep things running very smoothly? So the F-35 is at the end of the runway. He's cleared to start his demo straight away with a rolling takeoff. And we'll tell you a little bit about this F-35. So currently you can see the RAF Randall on the side. And you can also see the Lightning. So this sort of gives away what it is. This is the F-35B Lightning II. It's a family of single-seat fifth-generation supersonic stealth multi-role fighters. It achieves a top speed of Mach 1.6 or 1,200 miles an hour, a 35-foot wingspan, and a combat radius of 1,350 miles. There's three variants of the F-35. You have the F-35A conventional takeoff and landing variant, built for standard runways operated by the US Air Force and international allies. You have the F-35B, which is a short takeoff and vertical landing, or a STOVL variant, capable of operating from bases and aircraft carriers. And the F-35C, which is a carrier-optimized variant featuring longer folding wings and reinforced landing gear to catapult launch on US Navy supercarriers. Whoever's firing the flares, please stop. So the F-35 is designed with a radar absorbent material and internal weapon bays to evade advanced enemy radar systems. Suppressed 1 million flight hours with a record 191 units delivered by Lockheed Martin in 2025. So a very maneuverable aircraft, definitely. And definitely putting on a very good display that we'll see at the moment as it goes for a vertical climb. So as the F-35 comes in for its final pass. And we'll move on to the next aircraft now. There we go. One final vertical climb from the F-35B, and we'll move on to the next aircraft, the English Electric Lightning. If not, we'll go for a short 10-minute break, and we'll be back for the Thunderbirds at 1700.
Oh, that does sound like a pleasure to have the Thunderbirds come in.
Yep, always a great contender at the RIAT. And also we have the arrival of their first air show ever here at RIAT, the Diamondback display team.
Very indeed. Out of all the aircrafts that we have had on the display list so far, what's been your favourite?
At the moment, my favourite so far has had to be the Typhoon.
Yes, indeed. Typhoon was a good one. Very good one.
What has been your favourite?
So, is that because of all of the good displays people have been putting on? But, to be fair, I may have to go so far with the Typhoon as well. It's been
a lot of people are agreeing with the Typhoon. English Car Spotter Guy has just said on the YouTube chat that it has been his favourite display. If you are tuned in on live on the YouTube, tell us your favourite display, and we'll definitely mention you out in when we see your comment pop up, and we'll tell everyone else about your favourite display as well. If you are listening on the RIAT server as well, please do say in the general what your favourite display has been so far and what you are excited to see throughout the rest of the weekend.
Yes, it has been a shame that one of the streams hasn't worked for the first load of aircraft.
Yeah, I'm going to stop you there. Jordan Plains has said the... Jordan Plains, I just saw your comment. It's just disappeared. I'll tune in on the YouTube Live and I'll look over that now to read out some of the comments that we're getting in.
Well, here we go. And it looks like the Thunderbirds are now setting up to get ready for their display.
Jordan Plains says, here's with the A10 Warthog. Random user says, probably the F-15 it was. Yes, the F-15 was a great display. English Car Spotter Guy says, I wish the A10 did a low flyover though. Yes, that would have been cool to see a low flyover from the A10, definitely. Or even some tactical manoeuvres that would have been spotted for the display. That would have been very nice indeed.
Oh, here we go. Off to our left-hand side of the display crowd, we can now see the Thunderbirds lining up to get ready for their display.
Never seen the RIAT Air Show. I'm happy to be here. Thunderbirds best. Yes, the Thunderbirds do put on a magnificent display. So if you are on the YouTube, you'll be hearing the commentary from inside the Thunderbirds. Gavin, I'll leave you to talk them through this display here, and I'll be back shortly.
Somebody needs to bring my phone.
Yo, that's up, bro. You used to let us up into the VC, bro. We got bots and everything.
What do you mean?
You used to get my ult in the VC, you need to get 2 in the VC.
Yeah, just waiting for the go ahead. We're about to roll now.
Nice.
we are back on the YouTube Live. We hope you enjoyed that display. That was a very nice display indeed. Okay, you missed, didn't see much of it on YouTube, but you can always catch up on it when we bring out the highlights video, which happens about a week or two after the air shows have finished. We just need time to build the video up, make it right, and be able to post it. But we are back, and we finished 10 minutes early. So what we'll do is we'll go on a slight 10-minute break, because the Thunderbirds did end up getting up early, but that's completely fine. Better to be early than late. That's like what I like to say. So we'll continue talking a bit about the future of the PTFS RIAT and what we have planned coming up in the next couple of months that we would like to explain to you about. So as many know, the PTFS RIAT, as we announced, is in its 2-year anniversary. We've been going for 2 years. This is absolutely insane, and we thank everyone on the journey. We thank everyone for helping us reach 400 members on the Discord, and we're on the road to 500, so hopefully we'll get to 500 by the start of next year. As many know, we host air shows monthly, so it keeps the server active. We see plenty of displays rolling in. Everyone gets an opportunity to fly, especially if they're an airshow pilot. Now, to talk a little bit about the plans coming up in the RIAT, we have a few. The owners and that lot will be talking, and the admin will be talking at the end. So Tuesday evening, I can guarantee you that the owners will be getting together. We'll be talking about partnerships that we've had over the weekend that are coming in. We'll be talking about how we thought the air show went, how we're going to do things differently next. And we thought of a special video idea for the people on the YouTube, and it'll also be posted on the YouTube as sneak peeks, and TikTok and even Twitch sometimes. We plan on doing a behind the scenes video, so you'll hear everything to do about the RIAT when we're leading up to these big air shows that we host every summer. So you'll get to hear all the ins and outs, so us making contact with the display teams, or the display teams making contact with us, and what we do, the chats that we have, deciding on what aircraft will come to the RIAT, what the theme will be, where we're going to hold it. Most of the time it's at Larnaca because that's our home base, but we do like to change it up every so often. And also where we're going to place the crowd if we're going to have a static display. This time we haven't done a static display. It was a little bit tight on this one. We've had a lot going on the past couple of months while we've been planning this, but we're working on getting the static display back. We know a lot of people did enjoy having the static display here, and we'll be more than happy to bring the static display back in the near future. We're also looking for more display teams. We did have the Blue Angels appear in a smaller RIAT earlier on in the year. We want to get them back. That was a great display. The Thunderbirds, they're a regular attender. We always love seeing their shows. The RIAT, the Reds, they fly all the time at the RIAT. They're a common RIAT attender. They have been since the start. And hopefully we want to get the Diamondback team back to more RIATs if they can, because I can guarantee you an expeditional display to come right in front of your screens for the RIAT. So for their first appearance ever in a RIAT flying display, it will be something to see indeed. Many of you, if you've been to previous RIATs, you'll know that we had the Russian Knights show up. That was very nice. We hope to get in the full team back sooner or later, and then back into the show with their full 5 for the show. That would be very nice.
I would like to say something as well.
Go for it.
Milestone has happened with the website. We have reached 109 total visits on the website since it's been put on.
Yeah, so many may not know, we have an official RIAT website. It gives you a countdown to the next air show. It brings up all shows that have happened. You can see upcoming events that we have planned. We also have, you can see the display list from there as well. So if you go on there, there's a section called Aircraft for RIAT, or Display Aircraft, and it will bring up the aircraft displaying throughout the whole weekend. And there's a section as well dedicated to the aircraft flying on the day. There is also, it takes you to our YouTube, the TikTok, and the Discord, so you can join via the website if you randomly stumble across it. Tells you the theme for the RIAT and what's going to be happening during that RIAT. Tells you a little bit about the server and what's going on. And you can also find clips as well in there, which will be posted up shortly when we finish up this whole RIAT. And you'll be able to watch clips or short snippets from displays that have happened throughout the RIAT throughout our past 2 years. And you can see little snippets and what to expect when you were to join the RIAT and see all the flying displays with your own eyes, or even flying for that fact. So it will be definitely something to see.
Indeed, it would be a good sight.
Yes, so not far off now. So if the E3 Sentry pilot wants to get himself sorted so we can get that up flying on time. But yeah, so big plans coming for the RIAT in the future. So things to expect on the flying display tomorrow. Also, this is a 2-day event. You can expect to see the red arrows flying. There'll be an F-18 display flying. You can expect to see the F-22. That was the first to arrive yesterday. So if you were on the RIAT live stream, you'd have seen that come in. We also have the F-4 Phantom that's been planning to fly tomorrow, the UH-60 Black Hawk, a KC-1, and the A330 MRTT. And the JAS-39 Gripen. That's just some aircraft to come in the flying display tomorrow, and plenty more to come throughout today. So we have 2 displays remaining. So we have the E3 Sentry, which should be coming up very shortly, and getting ready for its takeoff. And then we will be finishing off with the Diamondback display team, and a Diamondback display team flyover with the PTFS Thunderbirds, which you just saw displaying about 5 minutes ago. So plenty coming up in the course of the next 40 minutes. So as you can see, the E3 Sentry is just taxiing, and it will be ready to start its display. So it's just taxiing now, and we should be starting the display exactly on time, which is 1940, or also known as 7:40 p.m. And this is one that we haven't seen in a while since we've done the reconnaissance theme on RIAT. And that was back in roughly May this year. And then the last time we would have seen that was, if it weren't May this year, it would have been back in the big RIAT last year, where our theme was Eyes in the Sky. So on the runway now, rolling to start its display, the Boeing E3 Sentry, widely known as the AWACS. AWACS standing for Airborne Warning and Control System. The E3 is a modified Boeing 707-320 commercial airframe equipped with a signature 30-foot rotating dome. It provides all-weather surveillance, command, control, and battle management for the US Air Force, NATO, and allied nations. Many do refer to the dome on top of the E3 has many names. the spinning pizza, the frisbee, and I do believe there could be many other names out there that people call it. The E3 Century has a wingspan of 145 feet 9 inches, a length of 152 feet 11 inches, and a height of 41 feet 9 inches. A tall, long, and wide aircraft. Powered by 4 Pratt & Whitney TF33 PW100 turbofans, providing roughly 21,000 pounds of thrust each. The aircraft has a maximum takeoff weight of about 325,000 pounds to 335,000 pounds with a 21,000 gallon fuel capacity. The aircraft can fly missions exceeding 8 hours without refueling and longer within flight refueling. The aircraft operates at a range of over 5,000 nautical miles and a ceiling above 29,000 to 35,000 feet. Now, for those who want to know a bit about the rotodome, it rotates at 6 RPM during operations, housing a Northrop Grumman pulse Doppler. Apologise if I didn't say that correctly. The radar that filters out ground clutter and provides a 360-degree view of the battle space. Effective surveillance range exceeds 250 miles or 400 kilometers for low flying and medium altitude targets. It requires a basic crew of 4, 2 pilots, a navigator and a flight engineer, plus 13 to 20 mission specialists operating tactical control consoles. So if you were to see inside this aircraft, there's about 13 screens inside that aircraft with loads of surveillance tech inside. Introduced in March 1977, the E3 Century has played a vital command role in conflicts from the Persian Gulf War and the Balkans to operations over Iraq and Afghanistan. A total of 68 aircraft were manufactured through 1992. The Royal Air Force E3D Century aircraft returned to the UK from its last operational mission prior to retirement, and boarded fleet are anticipated heading towards 2035. Additional references detail are outlined with the Boeing E3 Century. So it's coming in for its final fly past, or possibly landing as it comes to the end of its demo. And now we see the contenders of RIAT that we haven't seen before in their first flying display ever. It is the Diamondback display team. So I believe they shall be getting their jets ready. They have a 30-minute display routine, so to let you know on times, that will be from 17:45 to 20:05, so that's 7:45 to 8:05. And then we'll see the fly past happen with the Thunderbirds. So the Thunderbirds will probably be getting up halfway through the display. If you are in the server, if you are watching on the YouTube, I do suggest moving over to the Twitch that we have announced, so you'll get an outside view of the display demo as the Thunderbirds fly over with the Diamondback display team. But at the moment we're going to try to capture as much footage as we can before it gets cut to the Thunderbirds forming up with the Diamondback display team for the end of the show. So I am yet to find out if they do have commentary for this display. But we do have 4 aircraft on the roll. There we go. The fifth one is on the roll now. So Diamondback display team is ready. They're ready to start their show when they're on the runway. And ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be the first time you see the Diamondback display team display at a RIAT flying display in our program. And hopefully it won't be the last. So, a little about the display team. They feature 5 F-18 Super Hornets. And we can see 4 of them on the runway now. And the 5th on the other side. So, an opposing takeoff. Something that we see the Thunderbirds do with 2 solo jets. Now we're seeing it with 1 of the Diamondback. So a very interesting takeoff setup over here. We can't wait to see it. So there is music during the display. I am going to try commentate over it as best I can on the YouTube, so it doesn't go completely silent for the next half hour. But I will try my best so the stream doesn't hear the music due to the copyright issues. But we will try and commentate over it the best we can. So the bot is in the server, ready for the music. And it will be silence from me in the Discord call. And away they go. So here we go, making their debut appearance. So there we go, making their debut appearance. The Diamondback display team flying 5 F-18s in formation, and they're rolling, ready to make their debut display here at the Royal International Air Tattoo, PTFS. So a high performance takeoff there from what I can believe is the solo pilot. I haven't been told much about the display team and what to expect. So currently we are seeing a Diamond over there and a solo flying off just behind the crowd. So, rolling in from behind the crowd now, ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for their debut appearance at the PTFS Royal International Air Tattoo. It's the Diamondback display team. for F-18s in formation. What a nice sight to see indeed as they bank off around to the left. Only 2 people. There was more later on in the stream. I believe most went due to we had to cut to the footage of on board with the Thunderbirds. We'll have to get back to it in a minute, but we'll be back again for more tomorrow. So coming in from the left-hand side of our crowd view now, the Diamond 4 flying back in. As they ease off with a right bank. It's very different seeing 4 F-18s in formation and they're not in blue, as I am referencing towards the Blue Angels. It's very nice to see something different in the RIAT. There's the solo, what looks to be circling around up there. And now coming in from behind over the shoulder of crowd right, the Diamond is rolling back in. And in comes the solo with some double rolls and goes for a triple. Very nice. Diamond look to be repositioning themselves for Fairford runway, and they are coming back in with the next manoeuvre. With some in-sync roll as they reform back into the Diamond. So a double high-speed fly past there from two of the Diamondbacks. We got two approaching behind the centre here. And in with a cross. And what looks to be, they all look to be reforming back into their next formation. Looks to be an in-sync high alpha maneuver. Now coming in from our right hand side, solo in a knife edge. Into a roll to break off to left, very nice. As they look to be reforming all back with each other. And by the looks of it, for the first time in the display, we see a full 5 ship flying together. So cameras are on, and they are on the aircraft, ready to see them do their 5 ship pass. So into a loop now. Formation being held very well. Thrilling display this has been so far from the Diamondbacks, and hopefully we get to see them more often within the RIATs. We also hope we get to see, so we will be seeing, we hope we will be seeing the Thunderbirds join up with them ever so shortly near the end of their display for a fly past. So you'll see up to about 8 aircraft in the sky. For a very big formation fly past. So the team are just circling out behind us now and are getting set up ready for what their next pass could be. So arriving in from behind the crowd now, in their 5-ship arrow is what they might call it. And covering the skies of RIAT with flares as they do a vertical break. A very nice tribute to the display there. So if that was signalling the end of their display, it was a very good display indeed, and definitely hoping to see more of them in the future of the PTFS RIATs and more. This has been an exciting display. No, it's not the end by the looks of it. They're coming in for another formation, which looks to be an arrow. Ah, yes, a pitch-up break, that's what it is. Very nice. And the gear is coming down. It seems to be they are signalling definitely the end of their display and landing in. So landing in now, finished making their debut appearance and hopefully more to come, the Diamondback display team. A fantastic display. Yes, Thunderbirds was very good. So we'll hopefully be able to get the videos for the highlights, and you'll be able to watch the full display. Well, not the full display, but snippets of the display in the highlights video, and more of every show. So there we go. The Diamondbacks display team finished making their debut appearance at the Royal International Air Tattoo, PTFS. Very nice. So I'm just going to double check is there a fly pass happening with the Thunderbirds, or is that going to be it for this evening? Yes, so there is going to be a fly pass with the Thunderbirds, so we'll be getting them up now. So here we go.
You and we're just getting everything ready, so give us a second.
Cool. So, if you are still tuned in on the YouTube and even in the RIAT Discord, tell us what your favourite display was today, and let us know what you thought of the display. We do have day 2 coming tomorrow. That will all be streamed live. The list will be posted up later on the website and on the PTFS RIAT server, and sign-ups will happen straight after the end of today to get your spot in tomorrow's RIAT.
It doesn't look like anyone's active at the moment, so we may have to reschedule.
Yep, we can do a reschedule. Yep.
Let me see what's going on.
Oh, that was an amazing display by the Diamondbacks.
Definitely. Hopefully that won't be their last appearance at the RIAT. That was a thrilling display, to say the least, and hopefully a great debut appearance and possibly more to come.
Yes, indeed. It's a skill on and how much the pilots train to get up to that level of skill, be able to do that kind of stuff.
Yes, training is going to be definitely a main priority indeed when it comes to flying. So we just got word, it looks there will be no fly past. So we're going to reschedule that, and when it does get rescheduled, it will be filmed. So it'll be either tomorrow's RIAT or the day or the next RIAT that we can have come up. So on next RIAT, can me and my friend fly? Yes, of course you can fly if you join the RIAT Discord. It is in our bio. So if you click on our profile, click on to where it says join the PTFS RIAT, you're in. If you do an airshow pilot application, you and your friend do an airshow pilot application, we can definitely get you in for the next RIAT.
We are about to be buzzed by an F-18, by the way. Yeah, we have been buzzed by Lennon. Overspeeds a Mach 1. Okay.
So, without further ado, tomorrow is the 9th of August 2026, and that will be day 2 of the PTFS RIAT, where you can see the red arrows fly, the RF Typhoon display team will be flying, and many more, possibly the Diamondbacks display team fly over with the Thunderbirds, so that'll be another nice thing to see. But other than that, from here at PTFS RIAT and from everywhere else, we thank you for coming to day 1 of the PTFS RIAT, and we'll see you tomorrow for day 2